Hey babes, I am here today interviewing Samantha Garcia, and she is the host of the Esthetician Edit, and she is also one of the main babes of the International Cosmetic Esthetician show. I hope I got that right. Basically, ICE, which is a skin show in South Florida. And she is here talking to all of our skincare pros, all of our beauty babes on the importance of knowing who you are. And I am so excited about it because I talk about it all the time on the podcast. So let's get to it and I'll let her tell you yourself.
Are you a beauty or barber pro looking for that push to do that thing you've always wanted to do, whether it's in or out of the salon, spa, or shop? Are you tired of not feeling good enough, smart enough, skilled enough? Are you tired of not getting a handle on your mental health, boundaries, and insecurities? I'm Krystine Sherwood, the BeautyPro coach, an internationally certified coach, a salon and spa owner, and your personal Jiminy Cricket. I use my own experiences, good and bad, as a salon owner to help you be more self-aware, authentic, and forward-thinking in your approach to life, in and out of the salon. It's time to reach your version of success with the BeautyPro Coach podcast.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here with the fabulous Samantha Garcia. I'm going to let her introduce herself and all the things that she is here to represent because this babe is truly inspiring. Like, if I was in my 20s, I'd be like, damn, she's got it together. So, Sam, tell everybody who you are and what's going on.
So thank you for saying that. It's funny that you say she has it all together because today I'm a little literally like, oh my gosh, I feel like I look like I have it all together, but sometimes it's a little bit of like a struggle because I do a lot. Um, so my name is Samantha. I'm a licensed esthetician. I am a newly licensed esthetician, so I think like this month actually makes 1 year since being an esthetician. Yeah. And then, but I've been in the industry since 2019, like the end of 2019. I went to school for English and media. So this was probably like the third job that I landed, when you graduate college and you're like job hopping. And I became editorial assistant here for the magazine called La Nouvelle Esthétique and Spa magazine. And basically this magazine is our communication piece for the International Congress of Aesthetics and Spa. So it's like our way to keep our estheticians just educated year round. I did leave the magazine for like 2 years, partly to go on like my own, like actually not partly, I fully dived into doing like a mindset coaching. I used to do hypnosis on people. I became a Reiki master. Like I had this whole, and honestly, I went down that pathway because of the magazine, because I used to interview estheticians, wellness practitioners, and it so happened that like I interviewed a Reiki master one day, and that kind of just opened my mind and led me down a path. Um, I was really good at that job, like really, really good because of the writing. So I used to write my scripts for my clients and tailor it to them. But it wasn't like my calling yet. I think it was just like I was picking up the tools, which as estheticians, I think we do a lot. Like we'll take so many different classes, whether it's becoming like holistic nutritionist, like getting your certification in that, or Reiki, or just there's so many things you can do. So I think that was just helping me pick up more tools. And then I I wasn't making money. I wasn't making money. I wasn't getting enough clients to like sustain me like for a living. It felt more like it would be good to do like on the side as a side hustle thing, but as hard as I would try, like it wasn't working out for me. And so before going into aesthetic school, I was like, what like what other job can I do that I feel like just fits my personality?
Mm.
Because I'm the type of person that gets bored really easily.
Mhm.
Like I can't just do one thing. I'm very creative. I need to constantly be learning all the time. And so I guess like interviewing so many estheticians and seeing that like their personalities kind of matched mine, that was always the career that I kind of like thought about in the back of my mind. What worried me was the whole like just school aspect
Mm.
because I was never really good at school and like the science part of it, which is actually really easy once if you really care
Yeah.
about treating your client, then that stuff comes naturally because you want to get to the bottom of like what's going on with their skin. So I went back to esthetician school. I used to talk about this job all the time to my boyfriend and his sister, and my sister-in-law was like, "Why don't you just like ask for your job back or ask to see if there's anything like any position available?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like I need to put my pride aside because I did leave."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
is good. I'm happy that you're pointing that out because I feel like a lot of times we feel like, oh, burn that bridge. But if it was cool to begin with, like, yeah, put your pride and your ego aside and just do what you got to do. That was cool. Thank you. Uh-huh. Keep going.
it was weird because it's just so weird when you are trying to make something happen sometimes, like it felt like the world wasn't moving for me. Like I was just trying to do so many different things. But then when I went to esthetician school, it's like everything started moving fast. And I feel like that's like good feedback that like you're on the right path is that um and you may be like, for example, like an esthetician, maybe things aren't happening for you, but it's just that you need to just tweak something or you need to take a specific class or just somehow get on the right path and then things start like aligning for you.
Mhm.
um so I reached out. I didn't hear back for 3 months, but I reached out in a way of like, how am I going to provide the business value? Like I wasn't like, oh, I want my job back, it's all like about me, like I loved
Right.
working here. It was like, okay, I feel like, we're moving more into like, it, obviously we're already in it, like a very digital
Mm.
friendly, like we need to be on like video, we need to just be pushing content out. And I felt like just there were certain things that were outdated within the magazine and stuff. So I created a presentation and I had my podcast idea and I sent it to my boss. And I put like, if you want to, we can discuss this more like in person, basically. And
Right.
he didn't answer me for 3 months, but then in 3 months, I think it was perfect timing. I was already like, I think I had 2 months left of school and I ended up getting the job back.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And then we started the podcast and it's just been, I think we're like already on like our 50th episode and the podcast has had really good feedback. And so I really really love this job. I love the shows. I love the inspiration that you get just going to the shows. And so I know a lot of estheticians are kind of like stuck in their own little like bubble, and just beauty professionals in general. I've never experienced that because I've been so lucky to be also tied to the shows. So I kind of just want to get estheticians on board. Like there's so much community if you're
Mhm.
just like open to it. There's so much you can learn. Like you should never really lose your spark. If you're losing your spark, it's because you're not like chasing it, if that makes sense.
Oh, that is beautifully said. I really
Yeah.
appreciate how you shared your journey because you're still kind of in it, right? Because
Yeah.
the podcast has only 50 episodes still, which like the statistic is like people don't even make it past that number. So you're like doing it, right? Which by the way, what is the name of the podcast so we can put a link for people to listen?
Yes. So it's the Esthetician Edit podcast, and it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and then we have estheticianedit.com, which has like our magazine.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
See, that is so cool. I love these stories. I feel like they're so inspiring and people, estheticians, they need to hear it. You know, estheticians are like the powerhouse, but they're introverts, right? So they're kind of like, I don't know, they're not they don't own their power, I feel, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like if you are an introvert, there's just I feel like this career you can fuse so many different like likes and hobbies into being an esthetician. Like
Right.
for example, with the whole hypnosis thing, I haven't like fully done it yet, but like I've always considered making meditations for my clients while they're getting facials. And like I do have one facial that it's called like the sacred ritual facial, and it's like my highest paying one, and it does have energy healing in it, but it also has like a little bit of like a hypnotic meditation to just to get them to connect to themselves and their hearts. So like you can take all of your likes and kind of fuse them into your career. I've seen people like create fashion lines for estheticians, like create just supplies. Like there's so much you can do, and you don't even need to be like an extrovert. You can just do what feels like authentic to you.
Right. Exactly. And it comes back to, well, knowing what you like, what your
Hmm.
gifts and talents are so that you can maximize on those and make money, right? I love
Exactly.
that. Okay, so you were touching on if you're losing your spark, you should
Mhm.
probably go to a show. At least that's what I heard. So tell everybody, because even though you're tied to the shows, because it's actually part of your job, tell
Mhm.
everybody like your personal experience, like separate it, like you as an esthetician and going to these shows. Tell everybody like how it's benefited you.
Mhm. So, I mean, it's cool because I get to compare when I would go to the shows as a non-esthetician. And
Mhm.
then last year, when I became an esthetician, I went to the show in a different way because obviously you're just trying to find like the best technology, the best products, the best education that's going to help you in your business. So I also should mention that like I have this job as, the podcast host. Like I work with the shows 3 days a week, but I have my own spa 3 days a week. And I have a girl that like I have a team, and my I work with my mom. So
Mhm.
um I'm also like in the nitty-gritty of like my first year of really getting my business up and running. So everything so it's kind of like I am also in your guys' shoes, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So
Mm.
I'm able to provide really good feedback even to our team as to like what I feel like isn't working for our shows and
Mm.
what I feel like is. Um, but to answer your question, it was like what I feel like I experienced the first time going. Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah. Like yeah. Yeah. What has been your experience as a non-esthetician, as an esthetician, as a business owner? Like, tell us
Yeah.
all the feelings.
Okay, so I mean, my first show, I was a little bit like, I felt like it wasn't so much, we're the organizers, so we're the ones that will bring the community together. So we're creating the floor with brands that want to be there, with educators that want to be there,
Mhm.
estheticians. So I remember my first time, it was like a Miami show, and I felt like some of the exhibitors weren't as like, hey, come to our booth. They weren't as inviting. I felt a little bit intimidated. And also, I think that had to do with me, myself, like just being overwhelmed by how much was out there, and also being afraid to ask stupid questions. So like going up to a company that obviously they breathe, eat, and sleep like whatever it is that they're selling. So sometimes they will speak to you with language that you don't even, especially as a newer esthetician, you're like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? But you can't be afraid to ask them to dumb it down, because
Mm.
you have to think that they don't know that they know too much, if that makes
Right.
sense. Like,
Yeah.
and they're not afraid to dumb it down. So I think also having the podcast and being such a beginner, it's really allowed me to like get my ego out of the way and just be a student. Like,
Mm.
be a student. It's okay to not know anything. It's okay even if you're an experienced esthetician and you know nothing about this new technology or this new products. Like they're there to teach you, and you're there to learn. So there's that. And then also, I feel like the shows have helped me align with brands that have like catapulted me into success, because as an esthetician, like, I mean, I didn't have a really great experience in school. And so it was the brands that I chose to work with. And I specifically, my first year, have chosen to work with brands that are small
Mhm.
and are like esthetician founded and formulated. And their like owners are just like a text or email away. Like I don't feel like I have to jump through hoops to get to them. Because they're just very giving, I find, and I I love their philosophies. So yeah, just finding brands that align with your philosophy, I think
I
is like
love
the
that.
most important thing and provide you as much education as possible and that are going to help you your first year become successful. Like they feel like your success is their success.
That is beautiful. Exactly. Exactly. So, with these smaller brands, do you mind sharing name dropping?
Yeah, I mean, Herbal Skin Solutions was the first brand that I brought on. Moco, which they're actually going to be in Fort Lauderdale this year. I saw them at the Miami show. They are so Herbal Skin Solutions is more, it's very eco-friendly. Like their packaging. I actually have a podcast with the owner, Kaylin. Like she uses vegetable ink in her packaging. Everything's like glass bottles. They like donate to so many initiatives for just helping the planet. And then they're like very non-comedogenic, very good to use like for a retail line for
Mm.
every type of skin. Um, and there's not like unnecessary products out there. She's very like she's creating a product with intention. She's not creating products just to sell. Another brand is Moco. I love them because they are really big on treating multicultural skin. So if you can treat like the darkest skin color, you can treat all skin safely. And their peels are absolutely amazing. It's all plant-based,
Mm.
but very powerful and very results driven. And I like I have, my boyfriend is dark skin. I have my he's Dominican, his whole family is. So I think when we have hopefully children one day, like I want to know how to treat, my daughter's or I'm like manifesting a daughter. My daughter's skin. So that's important to me.
It's the cutest thing ever. Yeah, girl, we're gonna manifest some babies. We're gonna
Yes.
manifest a fabulous ring, like manifesting commitments. Okay.
Yes. And then Botnia, they came to the show for the first time this year. I'm really trying to push for more holistic brands to be at the shows.
Mm.
Um, so they're amazing. We did a podcast with them, and honestly, pretty much a lot of the people I've brought on, I've done podcasts with them, and I've just been really impressed by their formulas and their philosophies. And then the last one is Skin Fitness, and they're also going to be in Fort Lauderdale. It's all about like nutrition for your skin, no like additives, no junk, same way that you would approach food, but
Mm.
it's I love using their protocols for my clients that are concerned more about like aging and like correcting their, uh corrective skincare. They have amazing protocols. Specifically, there's one called Nano Infusion with topical filler and the Flame and Frost facial. I love those facials in my treatment room.
These are so cool. And I love that you're going for the smaller brands because as a newer esthetician, you get to grow with these
Mhm.
companies. And like you said before, they give you so much more support, maybe emotionally and even business wise. And that is so smart. And I wish more Esties would do that, honestly.
Mhm. And I'd use also like I'd use bigger brands too, like
Yeah.
Circadia. I
Yeah.
love their cleansers.
Love them.
At SkinScript, I love their enzymes. I like to, I mean, we've been getting products sent to here even before I was an esthetician. So I kind of have my favorites from every
Sure.
brand. Every brand kind of has like their all-star products or all-star treatments.
Yeah, so you're mixing your favorites from every line to
Mhm.
create a custom experience with you in your room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love that. So tell everybody, because I know this happened to me,
Mhm.
the about the show in Fort Lauderdale and the
Uh-huh.
history behind it, because I know the letters are very similar to other shows.
Yeah.
But tell everybody what makes this particular show so fabulous and so amazing and all the things.
So our show is called the International Congress of Aesthetics and Spa. I think what makes our show different is one, we're a really small team. So and everyone here really, really genuinely cares about the experience from like the exhibitor standpoint and then also the attendee standpoint. Um, so for me, I'm always looking at like how can we provide the best education for estheticians because I want the best education as well.
Right.
And
Right, which
um,
totally works because you are an Estie now. You are able to think and give what it like what you want. Like you're
mhm,
making the show what you want, but because there's so many other estheticians like you, it's working. You
mhm.
know? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so like a lot of our attendees are solo estheticians. That's like our main target audience. And so I'm always thinking about like, okay, what would make the best like modern esthetician today? And that is like obviously combining like old school modalities with like new technology, right? And
Mhm.
just like being as educated as possible. And then Danny, she's our show director, and she's just always trying to just get just a variety on the floor. So
Mhm.
every esthetician just feels like represented. So I feel like sometimes just bigger brands, or I think where we do well is like we're not out of touch with the esthetician. We're like constantly in touch with the esthetician,
Mhm.
and we're not afraid of like feedback and correcting, any like negative feedback that we get or anything like that. Also too, when you come to our shows, like all of the education is included in your ticket. You don't have to pay extra
Oh.
to go to a specific class, which is nice because we understand that like if you're coming to a show, it's obviously you're investing in wholesale, opening up accounts with new brands. It's an investment that
Mhm.
you're going to be spending money essentially. So we just want to make it as like accessible for everyone at wherever stage you're at as an esthetician.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I have been to some other skin and spa shows and there's like I get confused if I'm being
Mhm.
totally real. Like I see the thing and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the price, but then it's actually not the price. It's you got to pay that and then you add another and then add another and I'm like, what is happening? How much is this show? You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I love that. And then so your initials really would be ICE,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's ice. Yeah, icy, yes, but people say ice.
ICE. Okay, better. I like it.
Icy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you have tell me about the process, right? Like the process of getting these brands to the show, right? I don't think anybody talks about this part ever. So like how does that go? Do you find a brand and you're like, "Hey, I have this show in Fort Lauderdale on this day. You want to come?" Like how does that work?
Yeah, I think it's just like us communicating to brands, and then brands also obviously we've been around for a really long time, so they want to be at our shows as well. Like they want to connect with estheticians face to face.
Mm,
So it's like both, I would
okay.
say. But we are really strict as to like what brands we allow on the floor, because there are certain brands that they just create a company like right that same maybe a few months ahead of time, and they want to come and they want to like just sell stuff that isn't really like ethical. So we're also very like strict about like who we allow on the floor. We don't like people who are super pushy sales, like slimy, we want it to be very like ethical brands who are really established in the industry, or if they're newer, they are like established and they are there for like good reasons and a good purpose.
Mm,
So that is all Danny. She's our show director, and
mm.
she like vets everyone that is on the floor, and if there's ever like something that happens one year, they won't be allowed to come back if so we're very strict with that. We want to make sure that our attendees they come first.
I love that. And this show was actually the first
Skin
I believe
show.
so. I'm not sure. I know I told you that last time,
Oh,
but
okay. I was like,
maybe we don't include that because I asked Danny. I think we are though,
okay,
but
so
I don't know
we're
the
not
exact date.
100% sure, but we're pretty top notch. Okay, cool. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, so what do you feel is like a secret to success? Okay? And we're going to this is like a two-parter, right? Secret to success in putting up a skin spa show, but then
Mhm.
also a secret to success of an esthetician.
Mhm. I think the secret success to putting on a successful spa show is I kind of already like said it, but it's just being in touch with the estheticians and what they want. Because a lot of times we can look at the trend, like there's trends happening all the time, and we don't know if they're not going to necessarily stick around, right? So, and if it's going to be like received by estheticians and by the audience. So it's not necessarily, yeah, we should be aware of all the trends happening and see them and showcase them. But it's more so just always kind of looking at what the esthetician needs
Mm.
and what they're searching for. When they're opening up a business, what are they most concerned about? Like how do we help them succeed, and align them with like brands that are also going to help them succeed. So I think if we always put the esthetician first, we'll always be a successful show. And then obviously there's so much that goes into it as far as like marketing and really like just getting our show out there. We are regionals. We have regional shows. So the goal is that we're traveling around the country and we're allowing you to come to the show that's closest to you. And there's smaller
Mhm.
shows than,
Mhm.
the bigger ones, but it's not overwhelming. It's more intimate. You get to ask more questions. You get to feel like you're just getting more of like um just a good experience. I mean, I've been to so many different shows as well, and it's not even the show's fault sometimes, it's the exhibitors. And
Mm.
for example, I had one brand that I was like very interested in bringing in their technology, and I went up to them and the lady straight up asked me, like, are you going to buy though? Like, do you plan on buying today? Because if you don't plan on buying, then we're not going to do it. Like, they didn't want to do a demo on me. And I was like, oh, wow. I actually feel like if you would have done a demo on me, maybe I wouldn't have bought in this show, but you never know, to be honest. I was a little bit like, when you're like everything's shiny when you're an esthetician, like I
Yeah.
could have honestly bought this show or I could have just bought the next one. So she didn't even want to do a demo on me. And I was like, wow, that's sad.
Mm.
So I forgot what my point with that was.
But it's okay because that seems to be a trend. I know like right now everybody's like really hurting for money,
Mhm.
right? Both clients, brands, like we're all kind of struggling because of the way things are right now in the world. But at least for me personally, and this has seems to be a trend that I keep hearing, is that you have to lose and sometimes
Mhm.
lose a lot
Yeah.
before you can start to win. And it's
Mhm.
so unfortunate that a lot of people are not taking that in. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so
No, yeah.
that company just lost a forever client because that is the thing that you're always remembering now, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I couldn't agree more. Even like, for example, my mom, she just joined me and we just became a med spa because she's a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
And I'm more of like a risk taker. She's more, just more old school and just also too, she's a little bit more fearful. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to like eliminate as much fear for her as possible.
Right.
Um, but she sometimes I kind of like I can see that she's scared to put in money to make money. I told myself my first year, I was like, I might not make anything at all, but I'm just going to see the first year as like pure investment. But
Right.
I had to mentally prepare for that and tell myself that. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
And just accept it.
So right. So where do you see yourself in 3 years, in 5 years?
Um, I don't know. it's strange because I used to be like a big planner. Now I feel like because I used to be like the type that was like always meditating, always making vision boards, always planning, but then action-wise, I was stuck.
Mm,
Now I feel like a little bit of I've gone the other extreme of just action, 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 and I need to take time also to just reflect and not even plan ahead, but just ask myself of like, am I happy with what I'm doing
mm,
currently? Like, I'm saying yes to so many things, but do I want to say yes to this to things that I'm saying yes to? Because I have limited time now.
right.
Yeah. So I guess like I just see myself having more of a balance
Okay.
and um you know trying to figure out because I think that I realized this year associated making more money with working more. And I think that that's like a belief that I want to work through is that I don't have to work more to make more money. I can figure out how to like make more money working less. And I think even just with the intention of that, like for example, I have an assistant. She actually started today. That just happened naturally. I didn't have to really ask for it. They were like, hey, we think you need an assistant. Great.
Right.
I also came across a treatment that is more higher, like pay, like there's a higher return. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, maybe like I work less, do more treatments that cost more.
Mhm.
So it's like just setting out the intention has kind of opened my eyes that I can make more money by working less.
That's beautiful. Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So, because you were on both sides, right? Before an
Yeah.
esthetician and now you are one, what is a lesson that you might have already said it, but what's a lesson that you have learned being in this industry that you wish your mom, who's like a nurse practitioner, that she would learn, that the mailman, that the lawyers, doctors, that you wish that they would just get, but that you've learned in this industry?
Um, I feel like there's a lot, but I think that this is truly an abundant industry.
Mm,
And I don't know if everyone has the same experience,
mm,
but I do think that like your mindset is everything. So being grateful for what you receiving, even the small things that you do, like just, opening up, even if you don't have clients, but just taking that first step and opening your first suite, or even just getting your first few clients. Like I think celebrating more of our wins because we don't really have anyone above us that's going to celebrate us, right? So as estheticians or just beauty professionals, we really need to like celebrate the milestones,
yeah.
even if they're small. In the beginning, I know that like I was so grateful. I was in this like flow where I was like everything was happening, happening, happening. And then it kind of stopped and it was just more because I got more into just work. My mindset kind of went away. It's like when things are new, they're very exciting, but when things become normal, it's not as exciting anymore.
Right.
And so I think you always have to kind of just chase the spark, make things exciting for yourself, stay grateful, and just that keeps the momentum going. But just always check yourself. Like
Yeah.
we can go from being super grateful to getting clients to being like, oh my God, I'm overworked. I feel so burnt out. And obviously that just takes adjusting. You have to learn how to adjust to that.
Yeah.
But I think just staying grateful will attract you so much in this industry. Like this industry is so giving
Yeah.
and it makes you want to give more to others. I do see sometimes some estheticians that have like a little bit like they feel threatened by other estheticians.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but it's like this is like such an oversaturated industry, but there's literally like a client for everyone. So you can't see it that way. There's no one's your competition at all. And I don't know if it's because I've always interviewed estheticians and been very friendly with them. Um, I did have like an experience like a few months ago where I just wanted a facial from another esthetician
Yeah.
and she completely like did not want to see me. Like she closed the door and was like, oh, I don't do one-time facials. And I was like, oh, I'm interested in like actually finding, I like people who are going to do my skin like consistently. Like I want to find someone.
Right.
I don't do a facial on myself.
Right.
And she just didn't respond to me. And it could have been for a different reason, but I really got the vibe of like she just didn't want me to like go to her for because I was an esthetician. And I was like, dang, like you missed out because I always end up like if I meet an
Ex-
esthetician and I love her, I put her on the podcast. Like I give so much.
Yeah.
Everyone tells me I'm so giving. It's actually insane. Sometimes like I give too much.
I
So
know that happens. I've noticed that too. But just like in this industry, the beauty industry, like we are givers and we like to serve and like make people feel good, you know?
yeah, and I don't know. I know you're like more into like also hair and stuff like that. So I've also heard that those industries are different. Like I've heard that this can just be what I've heard, but like the aesthetics industry is a little bit more friendly and that the hair can be a little more like catty. But I don't
Really?
know if that's true.
So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, so like from
I don't have
my
the yeah.
okay, so like from my experience, right? Because I do own a salon and spa too. So I find that like as far as like the giving and whoever's listening and watching, you guys need to make your comments and send your DMs with your opinion. But I feel like they're both very giving, very like service oriented. Like I want you to feel and look your best. But I feel like maybe yeah, maybe like the makeup
Mhm.
artists can be really catty.
Mhm.
That's what I've seen. And then hairdressers, they're just like, oh my God. And they're like, bah, all over the place, like super
Yeah.
loud. And they're like, yeah, let's just have a party all day. And introverts are like, oh, or estheticians are introverts. And they're like, oh my God, please shut up. I want to be alone. Just let me be in the treatment room.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like the makeup artists are a little bit cattier than the estheticians. Estheticians just want to make you feel good and be zen, whereas makeup, they're like, I can blend this color better than you. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if that's just like our experience looking at because we could totally be wrong. Like
Yeah,
it could be just like whoever we're around has that mindset and perspective.
exactly.
The same way that I have seen it sometimes like on TikTok and Instagram, like some estheticians, like there's drama and I'm like, whoa, and I don't even like put myself in any of
No.
that because I'm just
Yeah.
like, you really, if you find yourself in drama, I really do think sometimes you also have to look at yourself and be like,
Yes.
why am I attracting this drama?
Yes, exactly. Amen.
Yeah. Like why? Because it does, maybe you're not like the person causing the drama, but there's something within you that maybe feels like there's always a problem with someone, or there's like you have maybe a little victim mentality. You never know what it can be. And I find myself doing that sometimes too. And, even in life when you're just around people that maybe you don't mesh with.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it all goes back to you.
Oh, always, always, always. Thank you for sharing that. Exactly. So, what is an insult that you have gotten that's like your favorite insult? It's kind of like your driving force.
An insult to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whether it's at the show or as an esthetician, like what is that?
hard. To be honest, I feel like I've gotten so okay, none of my clients have ever even noticed that I'm a new esthetician because of my I'll say these two things and then I'll try and answer your question.
Uh-huh.
Because okay, because of these two things. One is because I've received so many facials that I've been able to develop a confident touch from the beginning because I have been able to decipher like what I like, what I don't like.
Uh-huh.
So it's the confident touch and then the knowledge from writing so much for about skincare. I
Mhm.
think that's what's made me like a lot of my clients. I even had one client this year say, this is the like I've gotten so many facials throughout like so many years. This is the best facial I've ever gotten. And I think it's just because of that.
Mhm.
I would say like insult, I would think it would go down to more of just like, I'm obviously not good at, not perfect. I'm not really great with organization and I'm not really that, like my weak points are more of like, I guess the stuff I don't want to do is like the business side of things,
Mm,
the administrative tasks. Um, it's more of like organization, saying I say yes to everything, so then I find myself like spread out too thin. So it's more of like the boundaries.
okay.
And that has also like that leads also sometimes to like you canceling or just you getting sick and
Mhm.
not being able to show up and things like that. So I would say that is like something that I feel like I am working on. Is like my communication skills, that sort of stuff, because I also sometimes feel like it's easier if I just do things myself. So I don't really communicate with other people because I'm like,
Right.
I'm just going to do it myself. But then they feel like they're left out of the loop. So I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. You did. It was more like you're hard on yourself.
I'm taking accountability. I'm taking accountability.
All right, so time is escaping. So
Okay.
what is how can people get in contact with you to get a facial
Mhm.
with you? Like where are you located? What's
So
the name of your spa? Like
yeah, so I'm located in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and the name of my spa is called Serenity Skin and Wellness. We just like expanded to the wellness aspect of it. So my mom does injectables, she does IV therapy, she does like weight loss programs. I specialize in like buccal massage, sculpting, facials. And then I have my team member, Kelly, that is just more of like the dermaplaning, the microneedling, that sort of thing. So we have like a fusion of like the holistic, but also like the more advanced treatments.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah.
I love it. Okay, so everybody go. We're going to have her links in the show notes. So make sure you follow
Mhm.
her on Instagram, book your appointments, get your tickets for the shows.
Yeah.
So what is a question that I did not ask you that you wish I would have, and how would you have answered?
Um, I feel like just like if any estheticians feeling like uninspired or any beauty professionals feeling uninspired, like really just surround yourself with community, like find your tribe, find your Estie besties. Um, if you feel like you're in like a negative rut, get out of like if you're in a negative environment, try and get out of it as much as possible. I don't know why that just like came to me, but
That's
just
okay. That's cool.
yeah,
That's
just
important.
just yeah, change up your environment, even if it's like you need to go to like a park and do some like journaling, because sometimes your environment is your home too. And that is how things are going to start to like change for you, is you changing your mindset first
Mm,
and you just protecting your peace and feeling good. That will start to just like show up in your life and everything will, go to the shows also. Like go to the shows. Because you'll be around that. That's like the perfect environment to be in.
mhm. I love it. Oh my goodness, Sam. Thank you for coming on the Beauty Pro podcast. I'm so
You.
excited for everybody to hear and watch this episode and definitely get your tickets to
Oh,
ICE.
yes. Yes, the Fort Lauderdale. So our Fort Lauderdale show is October. Oh my gosh, I think it's October 19th and 20th. It's
Okay.
a Sunday and a Monday. And there's so many great topics. Like there's a lot of motivational speakers also. The conferences are more motivational and inspirational. And
Mm,
these estheticians are very honest. They want to help you. So they're not going to gatekeep. They literally
I
give you
love
thousands of dollars worth of education in their conferences. And then the branded workshops are more like how are you going to use the product in the treatment room, more like ingredient knowledge,
that.
that sort of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, come to the show.
Love it. All right, you guys, you heard it here. Make sure you get your tickets. Go to Fort Lauderdale. I mean, you're in Fort Lauderdale. Like,
Yeah.
hello. Anyway, thank you so much, Sam,
Thank
and I
you.
will talk to you guys next time.
Thank you.
If you loved this episode, subscribe to the Beauty Pro podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave your reviews, stars, feedback so I can continue bringing the content you deserve and want most. Your feedback fuels this podcast. The more you give, the more you get back. You can follow me at The Beauty Pro Coach on Instagram and Facebook. want to contact me directly, email me at befree@goldentruthcoaching.com.